I'd been counting down to this trip for 8 months. 2 weeks in Italy with my family, Rome, Florence, Venice. The kind of vacation we talked about for years but never actually planned until Mom decided this was the year. I'm Kyle, 32, work-from-home software consultant, and I'd cleared my entire schedule for this. Turned down 3 client projects. Paid $3,000 for my half of the villa rental. Even bought one of those fancy travel backpacks that's supposed to prevent pickpockets in tourist areas. The morning we were supposed to leave, I woke up at 6 a.m., too excited to sleep. Double-checked my blue folder on the desk. Flight confirmation, hotel reservations, villa rental agreement. And my passport, right there in the front pocket where I'd put it 2 days ago. Everything was perfect. Then my phone rang at 8:30. Mom asking if I was ready. Dad's SUV would be at my apartment at 9 to pick me up. Emma was already packed and waiting. I told her I'd be downstairs in 20 minutes. That's when I opened the blue folder to grab my passport one more time. And it wasn't there. I tore through my apartment for the 3rd time. Bedroom drawers emptied onto the bed. Kitchen cabinets hanging open. Couch cushions scattered across the floor. My passport was gone. Not misplaced. Gone. Kyle, we're leaving in 20 minutes. Mom called from downstairs. With or without you. I stood in the wreckage of my apartment, phone pressed to my ear, listening to the airport's lost and found ring endlessly. Voicemail. Again. My phone buzzed. Dad. Kyle, your mother is getting anxious. Are you coming or not? Dad, I can't find my passport. I've looked everywhere. I need maybe another hour. We'll miss our flight. I know, but if I could just... You're 32 years old. You should be able to keep track of important documents. There it was. 32. Like an accusation. I had it 2 days ago. It was right here. Then you moved it and forgot. This is exactly what happens when you're not organized. Your sister has had her passport ready for weeks. Of course she had. Emma, 28, still living at home, still having Mom do her laundry. But she had her passport ready. Can you just wait? Please? 1 hour. The flight leaves at 2. We need to be there by noon. It's already 10:15. I know what time it is. Then you know we can't wait. If you find it, catch a later flight. We'll cover the change fee. My stomach dropped. You're leaving without me? We're not missing this trip because you can't keep track of your documents. Your mother's been planning this for months. I've been planning this for months too. I took 2 weeks off work. I paid for half the villa rental. And we appreciate that. But we can't miss the flight. That's just reality. Reality. The word he used to shut down arguments. Let me talk to Mom. I heard muffled conversation. Then Mom's voice tight with stress. Kyle, honey, we really can't wait. You understand, right? No, actually, I don't understand. My passport disappeared from my apartment. You probably put it somewhere safe and forgot. You do that sometimes. I didn't do that. But they've been saying things like this my whole life. You're forgetful. You're disorganized. Even when I wasn't. Mom, please. Just 1 hour. We can't, baby. But look, you find that passport, book a flight, and we'll see you in Rome. Plenty of time. This was supposed to be a family trip. And it still can be. Once you get there. Emma's voice in the background. We really need to go, Mom. Traffic's going to be bad. Always helpful, Emma. Fine, I said. Go. Don't be like that. Like what? Upset that my family's leaving me behind? We're not leaving you behind. We're going on a trip you're welcome to join once you find your passport. Safe flight. I said and hung up. Through the window, I watched Dad's SUV pull out. Mom in passenger seat. Emma in back, phone glowing. None of them looked up. I called the passport agency. Explained the situation. For emergency processing, we need proof of immediate travel. The woman said. Flight confirmation showing departure within 72 hours. I have that. Flight was supposed to leave today. Was? I missed it. Unfortunately, since the flight already departed, that wouldn't qualify. You'd need a new flight booked. Standard processing is 6 to 8 weeks. Weeks. The trip would be over. I hung up and sat on the couch. Looked at my banking app. The villa rental, $3,000. My half. Already paid. The flight, $800. Non-refundable. $4,000 for a vacation I was spending alone. My phone buzzed. Emma. At the airport. So excited. Wish you were here. Crying face. I didn't respond. Another text. Did you check that box in your closet? The one with old electronics? I stared at that message. Emma had never been to my apartment. Didn't know what boxes I kept or where. Unless. I walked to my closet. Pulled out the electronics box. Went through it slowly. Nothing. But under the box, wedged between the container and the wall, I found something else. A hair tie. Pink, with a metal charm of a cat. Emma's. I'd seen her wear it dozens of times. Emma, who'd never been to my apartment. My hands started shaking. I texted back. When were you in my apartment? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. What? I haven't been to your apartment in months. Then how'd you know about the electronics box? Lucky guess? Woman shrugging. And how did your hair tie end up in my closet? The dots appeared and disappeared 3 times. Then nothing. I called her. Straight to voicemail. Called again. Voicemail. I stood there holding the hair tie. Emma had been in my apartment. Recently. Without my knowledge. I checked the door. No forced entry. Which meant she'd used my spare key. The spare key I'd given Mom 2 years ago. Just in case. The spare key Emma had access to. I grabbed my laptop. Started researching locksmiths. Found one that could come today. Paid extra for rush service. By the time the locksmith arrived, I had a plan. The locksmith was a guy named Tony, 50s, Yankees cap. You getting divorced or something? Something like that. He nodded. Want me to do the back door too? I hadn't thought about the back door. Mom also had a key for that. Yeah. Both doors. While he worked, I went through my phone. Looking at old texts, old photos, trying to find other moments that hadn't added up. Found one from 3 months ago. My work laptop acting weird. Files moved around. Browser history showing sites I hadn't visited. I chalked it up to a software glitch. Now I wondered. Found another from January. Lost debit card. Reported stolen. The charges: gas station on the other side of town, coffee shop I'd never been to. The bank refunded everything. Card fraud, they'd said. But the gas station was 2 blocks from my parents' house. All done, Tony said, holding up 2 sets of new keys. You want the old locks here or take them? Take them. When he left, I locked both doors. Tested them. Solid. For the first time in hours, I could breathe. My phone buzzed. Mom. Boarding now. Talk to you from Rome. Red heart. I looked at the message for a long time. Then I blocked her number. Blocked Dad's. Blocked Emma's. I wasn't angry. Not the hot, explosive kind. This was cold. Calculated. They'd left me behind. I'd return the favor. I opened my laptop. Started researching property rights. Tenancy laws. What qualified as abandonment? Because here's what they didn't know, this apartment? I owned it. Not rented. Owned. Bought it 3 years ago with money from Grandma Helen's inheritance. The inheritance Mom had tried to convince me to put in a family trust that she'd manage. I'd said no. First time I'd ever stood my ground. This was my space. My property. My home. The spare key I'd given Mom was a courtesy. An emergency access. That courtesy was now revoked. I spent the rest of the day organizing. Bank accounts checked. Subscriptions verified. Credit report pulled. Found some things that bothered me. A credit inquiry from 2 months ago I didn't recognize. A small charge I'd assumed was a subscription renewal. I documented everything. Screenshots, timestamps, account numbers. Around 7 p.m., I realized I hadn't eaten. Ordered Thai food. Ate it sitting on the floor, surrounded by papers. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Hello? Kyle? It's Emma. I'm calling from airport Wi-Fi. Why'd you block us? Her voice had that wounded quality she used when she wanted sympathy. You were in my apartment without permission. What? No, I wasn't. I found your hair tie. In my closet. Where you suggested I look. Silence. Then, okay, look. I can explain. I'm listening. Mom asked me to check on your place last week. You'd mentioned your sink was dripping. I never mentioned my sink. You must have. Emma, stop. Did you take my passport? More silence. Did you take my passport? I repeated. This is crazy. Why would I take your passport? That's not an answer. No, Kyle, I didn't take your passport. And honestly, the fact that you'd even accuse me? That's really hurtful. More or less hurtful than leaving me behind? We didn't leave you behind. You lost your passport. Right. Sure. It is what happened. And now you're being paranoid and blocking everyone and changing your locks. How do you know I changed my locks? I hadn't mentioned it. Hadn't texted about it. Silence. Emma? I have to go. We're boarding. Answered the question. But she'd already hung up. I sat there holding the phone, feeling that cold anger solidify into certainty. Emma had taken my passport. Had been in my apartment multiple times. Had probably been going through my things. The question was why. And the other question, what else had she done? I pulled up my laptop. Started going through everything with new eyes. Every weird glitch, every missing item, every moment that hadn't made sense. By midnight I had a list. By 2 a.m. I had a plan. By sunrise I knew exactly what I was going to do. They wanted a family vacation without me? Fine. But when they came back, they wouldn't just find changed locks. They'd find I'd been busy. The first day without my family started quietly. Too quietly. I woke up disoriented, saw the new keys on my nightstand, and remembered. Real. All of it. I made coffee and opened my laptop. Started going through my digital life with the attention I usually reserve for debugging code. Found something immediately. Emails from my bank were being auto-archived without notification. I'd never set that up. Changed all my passwords. Enabled two-factor authentication everywhere. My phone buzzed. Dad. Emma said you blocked us. What's going on? You left me behind for a vacation I paid $4,000 for. We've been over this. You lost your passport. I didn't lose it. Emma took it. That's ridiculous. Emma wouldn't. I found her hair tie in my closet. She used the spare key. Dad sighed. That sigh that meant I was being difficult. We're boarding a connecting flight. Can we table this until we're in Rome? There's nothing to table. I've changed my locks. You no longer have access to my apartment. Kyle, that's our emergency key. Then I guess emergencies won't be your problem anymore. I hung up. Spent the next hour going through my apartment methodically. Found more than I expected. Tax returns rifled through. Personal documents out of order. Medicine cabinet rearranged. Someone had been thorough. Then I checked my laptop's access logs. Someone had accessed my computer remotely 3 weeks ago. 47 minutes in my files. Financial records. Tax documents. Bank statements. Everything you need to steal someone's identity. My phone buzzed. Mom, from a borrowed phone. We're worried about you. Please call. I didn't respond. By noon, I had a clear picture. Emma had been in my apartment regularly for months. But the question remained, why? Around 2 p.m., I found something on Emma's Instagram. She'd made it private recently, but I still followed her. 3 weeks ago. Celebrating good news. Can't share yet, but big things coming. Party popper. 2 weeks ago, photo with a real estate agent. Adulting. Finally taking the leap. House. Emma was buying a condo. Emma, who worked part-time and borrowed money constantly. Where was she getting a down payment? I scrolled further. Found a post from 4 months ago. Emma at a coffee shop with a guy in a suit. Meeting with the investment guru. Future secured. Money bag. I zoomed in on the photo. Papers on the table between them. A logo on the letterhead. My financial advisor's logo. I grabbed my phone. Called his office. This is Kyle Morrison. I need to speak with Jim. It's urgent. Hold music. Then Jim's voice. Kyle! What's going on? Did my sister Emma meet with you recently? Maybe 4 months ago. Pause. That's client confidential. Jim, I'm asking if she was there claiming to represent me. Yes or no? Long silence. She said you'd sent her. She had a power of attorney document. My hands started shaking. What? A power of attorney. Signed by you. It gave her authority to discuss your finances. Jim, I never signed that. She forged my signature. Oh God. His voice went quiet. Kyle, I didn't. She seemed legitimate. What did you tell her? Account balances. Investment performance. I gave her copies of statements. She said you wanted them for tax purposes. Mid-February. Right when my debit card was stolen. Jim flagged my account. Only I can access information. No one else. In person with ID. Done. Kyle, we should probably file a police report. I'll handle it. I hung up and sat there processing. Emma had forged my signature. Accessed my financial information. Was using it to buy a condo. My phone buzzed. Text from Emma's borrowed number. Kyle, you're scaring us. Whatever's going on, we can fix it as a family. I stared at that message. As a family. The family that had left me behind. That had stolen from me. I typed back. You're right. We should talk when you get home. I'll have documents ready. Thank you? I knew you'd be reasonable. We love you. I put my phone down and started researching lawyers. Day 2, I had a video call with Patricia Chin, family law and fraud specialist. Your sister forged a power of attorney, accessed your financial information, and may be using your identity for a mortgage. She summarized. What do you want to do? I want consequences. Then document everything. File a police report to create a record. When they return, give them a choice, make it right voluntarily, or face prosecution. I spent Saturday building the case. Printed everything. Bank statements. Computer logs. Photos. Timeline of Instagram posts. Copy of the forged power of attorney. Created a folder labeled Evidence of Financial Fraud Emma Morrison. Sunday morning, day 3, I got a text from Emma. Kyle, it's me. I'm sorry. I know you're mad, but I need to explain. I typed. You can explain when you get home. Face to face. I'd rather explain now. Before things get more complicated. Things are already complicated. You forged my signature. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Then, how did you know about that? There it was. Admission. I screenshotted immediately. I know about all of it, Emma. The question is, why? Long pause. I needed help. I made some bad financial decisions and I thought maybe I could borrow from you without you noticing and pay it back before you knew. She thought she could steal from me without me noticing. How much did you take? I didn't take anything yet. I was just getting information. Bullshit. What did you do with my account statements? No response. Then my phone rang. Dad? Kyle, we need to talk about Emma. She's very upset. She's worried you're going to press charges. She should be worried. She committed fraud. She said she was just trying to help organize your finances. Did she mention forging my signature? Silence. Dad, she admitted it. In text. I have screenshots. That's felony fraud. What do you want, Kyle? You want your sister arrested? I want my $4,000 back. I want her to admit what she did. I want acknowledgement that this was wrong. And I want it to never happen again. That's reasonable. I'll talk to her. But please don't involve police. She made a mistake. She committed crimes. She's family. Please. Give us a chance to make this right. I thought about Patricia's advice. Give them the option. Protect yourself legally. Fine. When do you get back? Tuesday evening. We can meet Wednesday morning. All of us. At my apartment. And Dad? I've documented everything. If this doesn't get resolved, I'm filing a police report. I understand. Thank you for being reasonable. He hung up. I spent the rest of Sunday preparing. Printed extra copies. Made a summary document. Outlined what I wanted: repayment, written apology, acknowledgement, and commitment to never enter my property without permission. By Monday morning I was ready. My apartment was clean. Evidence organized. Locks changed. Accounts secured. When my family came home, they wouldn't find the compliant Kyle who never made waves. They'd find someone who'd spent 3 days alone and learned he liked himself better this way. Tuesday evening, I got a text from Dad. Landed. Emma wants to come over tonight to talk. Just you and her. I stared at that message. Emma wanted to get ahead of the narrative. Convince me not to press charges before the family meeting. No, I typed back. Wednesday morning? Everyone together. 9 a.m. Kyle, she's really upset. 9 a.m. Wednesday. Everyone. That's the offer. 10 minutes later. Fine. We'll be there. I tried to sleep. Couldn't. Kept running through scenarios. Around 3 a.m., I finally dozed off. Woke up at 7 to banging on my door. Not knocking. Banging. Kyle. Open up. We need to talk. Emma's voice. I pulled on jeans and a shirt. Walked to the door but didn't open it. It's 7 in the morning, Emma. I know. I couldn't sleep. Please, can we just talk? Before everyone gets here? Something in her voice sounded actually desperate. Against my better judgment, I opened the door. Emma looked terrible. Hair in a messy bun. No makeup. Eyes red. Wearing sweats instead of her usual Instagram-ready outfit. Thank you, she said, stepping inside. She looked around. Noticed the new locks. The evidence folder on the coffee table. The timeline taped to the wall. Jesus, Kyle. You really went full detective. You really went full criminal. She flinched. Sat down on the couch. Picked at her nails nervously. I'm sorry, she said finally. For all of it. The passport. Your apartment. The financial stuff. Everything. Why? What? Why did you do it? You stole from me, Emma. You forged my signature. Why? She was quiet for a long time. Then, I got scammed. I blinked. What? Last year. Met someone online. Investment broker, cryptocurrency, guaranteed returns. I gave him $15,000. He disappeared. Emma. I took out a personal loan for it. Didn't tell Mom and Dad because they'd say it was stupid. Which it was. Then I couldn't make the payments. Started racking up late fees, interest. It snowballed. How much do you owe? $23,000. I sat down. That was more than I'd expected. The condo. You weren't buying it. You were trying to get money from me to pay the loan. She nodded. I thought if I could access your accounts, take $5,000, something you wouldn't notice. Pay back the loan. Then slowly pay you back. That's not borrowing. That's stealing. I know. But I was desperate. The loan company started threatening legal action. I panicked. So you stole my passport. That wasn't just, okay, it was part of it. But also. She looked down. I was jealous. You have your life together. Good job, own your apartment, savings. I'm 28, working part-time retail, drowning in debt from my own stupidity. When Mom started planning this expensive trip, I wanted you to feel as helpless as I felt. Just once. There it was. The truth under the theft. Sabotage from jealousy. That's really messed up, Emma. I know. I've been seeing a therapist. Since last month. She's helping me understand why I did it. A therapist you're paying for? How? She showed me her phone. Her bank account. Deposits from Dad. Weekly. $500 each. Mom and Dad are helping. I told them about the scam last week in Rome. They're covering therapy and helping with loan payments. They know about the loan? They know about the scam and debt. They don't know about. She gestured at my evidence board. They don't know I tried to steal from you. You succeeded. $4,000 for a trip I didn't go on. I'll pay you back. Even if it takes years. How? You can barely pay your loan. I got a second job. Waitressing at night. Moving back home officially. No rent. Everything goes to paying you back. I studied her face. She looked sincere. But sincerity didn't undo fraud. You forged my signature. You accessed my computer. You went through my documents. This isn't just about money. I know. And I'll do whatever you want. Restraining order, police report, whatever. I just wanted to tell you the truth first. My phone buzzed. Dad, on our way. Be there in 20. I showed Emma. You need to leave. Come back at 9 with them. Kyle, I appreciate you telling me the truth. But that conversation needs to happen with everyone. She nodded. Stood. Walked to the door. I really am sorry. I believe you. Do you forgive me? I thought about the 3 days alone. The evidence. Watching them drive away. I don't know yet. Ask me again after we talk. She left. At exactly 9 a.m., there was a knock. I opened the door. Mom and Dad stood there looking nervous. Hi, honey, Mom said, moving to hug me. I stepped back. Come in. They walked inside. Saw the evidence board. The folder. The timeline. Kyle, what is all this? Mom asked. Documentation. Have a seat. They sat. I pulled up a chair across from them. Kept the coffee table between us. Where's Emma? Dad asked. She was here earlier. This conversation starts with you too. Kyle, we came here to resolve things as a family. Mom started. You left me behind on a family vacation I paid $4,000 for. Let's start there. Dad shifted. We've apologized. The passport situation was unfortunate. It wasn't unfortunate. It was deliberate. Emma stole my passport. She wouldn't do that, Mom said immediately. I showed them Emma's text admission. She admitted it Sunday. Mom read it. Went pale. Handed the phone to Dad. He read it. Well, that's concerning. Concerning? Dad, that's theft. That's sabotage. She must have had a reason. Mom started. She did. Jealousy. She told me this morning. She wanted me to feel helpless because she's drowning in debt. You know about the scam? Dad asked. I know about all of it. The forged power of attorney. The meeting with my financial advisor. The remote access to my computer. I walked them through it. Showed them the evidence. The access logs. The forged document. The timeline. By the end, Mom was crying quietly. Dad looked like he'd aged 10 years. We didn't know, Dad said. We knew about the loan and scam. But not all this. You should have known something was wrong when my passport disappeared. We thought you'd misplaced it, Mom said. I'm not stressed. I'm organized. You just assumed I screwed up because that's easier than questioning Emma. Silence. You're right, Dad said finally. We should have waited. But you didn't. You left. We're sorry, Mom said. What do you want us to do? I pulled out the document I'd prepared. $4,000 reimbursement. Written apology from Emma. Agreement that none of you enter my apartment without invitation. And Emma needs professional help. Dad read it. Nodded. This is reasonable. I also want you to understand this wasn't about a missing passport. It was about years of taking me for granted. Of assuming I'd always accommodate. That's not fair, Mom said. We love you. Do you? When's my birthday, Mom? She blinked. What? My birthday. What's the date? It's April 12th. April 16th. You're 4 days off. She looked stricken. I must have been thinking. You remembered Emma's birthday last month. Threw her a party. Posted 30 photos on Facebook. Silence. I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm making a point. You don't forget the things you care about. Dad cleared his throat. What do you want from us? Really? I want you to treat me like I matter. Not like an afterthought. Like I actually matter. You do matter, Mom said, crying harder. Then prove it. Sign this agreement. Make Emma pay me back. Stop acting like I'm the problem when I set boundaries. There was a knock. Emma. I let her in. She looked at Mom crying, at Dad holding the document. I told them everything. I said, your turn. Emma sat down. For the next 20 minutes, she walked our parents through every detail. The scam. The loan. The desperation. The forged power of attorney. The passport theft. Mom cried through most of it. Dad just got quieter. When Emma finished, the apartment was silent except for Mom's sniffling. I'm sorry, Emma said. To all of you. But especially to Kyle. I looked at them. At the family that had left me behind. Sign the document. Dad signed first. Then Mom. Then Emma, her hand shaking. I witnessed their signatures. Dated it. Made copies. This doesn't mean everything's fixed. This is just the start. What happens now? Mom asked. Now you leave. I need time. Don't call. Don't text. Don't show up. When I'm ready, I'll reach out. Kyle, please. Those are the terms. Dad stood. Helped Mom up. Emma followed them to the door. At the threshold, Mom turned back. We do love you. Then give me space to figure out what that means to me. They left. I closed the door. Locked both locks. Looked at the signed document. At the evidence board. At my apartment, I finally felt secure. I'd won. They'd agreed to everything. Apologized. Acknowledged what they'd done. So why didn't it feel like a victory? I sat on the couch. Looked at my phone. At the contacts I'd blocked. Thought about unblocking them. Rejoining. Going back. Instead, I left everything as it was. Because sometimes winning isn't about getting everything you asked for. It's about finally believing you deserve to ask in the first place. 3 weeks passed in silence. No calls. No texts. No surprise visits. My family was respecting boundaries for the first time in my life. It felt strange. Not bad. Just unfamiliar. I worked. Went to the gym. Lived my life without the constant background noise of family drama. My passport arrived on a Thursday. Express replacement, $200. I held it in my hands and felt nothing. Just paper. Week 4, an envelope arrived. Mom's handwriting. Inside, a check for $4,000 from Dad. And a note. Kyle, we're paying you back as agreed. Emma has paid us $500 so far. We'll pass those payments along. We love you. We're here when you're ready. Mom. I deposited the check. Put the note in a drawer. Didn't call. Week 6, Emma sent a text. Made this month's payment. $500. Also 3 months into therapy. It's helping. Hope you're okay. I didn't respond. But I didn't delete it either. Week 8, my phone rang. Jim, my financial advisor. Kyle wanted to give you an update. Someone tried to access your account last week. Called pretending to be you. We verified ID and denied access. My stomach dropped. Did you get a name? They hung up. But the number came back to your sister Emma's phone. After hanging up, I sat there trying to process. Emma was still trying. Even after everything. I called Patricia Chin, my lawyer. They tried again. Emma tried to access my accounts. After signing the agreement? After everything. What do you want to do? I don't know. Part of me wants to file charges. Part of me is just tired. You can't fix people who don't want to be fixed. You can set boundaries and protect yourself. But real change takes years, Kyle. Not weeks. I unblocked my family's numbers. Didn't call them. Just unblocked. Then I sent one text to the family group chat. I know about the phone call to Jim. I'm documenting it. If there's one more attempt to access my information or apartment, I'm filing charges. No warnings. This is the line. Emma responded immediately. Kyle, that wasn't me. I swear. Dad, let's talk in person. There's been a misunderstanding. Mom, please call me. We can explain. I muted the notifications. Week 9, I got a package from Emma. A notebook. The marbled kind from when we were kids. Inside, pages of handwriting. A timeline of every time she'd accessed my apartment. Every piece of information she'd taken. Dates, times, details. The phone call to Jim was listed. With a note. This was me. I'm sorry. I was desperate and stupid. I can't stop. I need more help than I'm getting. The last page. Kyle, I'm checking myself into an inpatient program. 90 days. For impulse control and addiction behavior. Mom and Dad don't know yet. I'm telling you first because you deserve to know I'm actually trying. Not just saying it. I don't expect forgiveness. Just wanted you to know I'm taking this seriously. I sat there holding the notebook. Then I texted her. Good luck. 2 words. That's all I could manage. Her response. Thank you? That's more than I deserve. 3 months after the Italy trip that never was, I booked my own vacation. Solo trip to Japan. 2 weeks. I posted a photo from Tokyo. Me in front of Sensoji Temple. Caption. Sometimes the best trips are the ones you take alone. Mom liked it. Dad commented. Beautiful. Emma didn't interact. Still in the program. I turned off my phone and kept exploring. Because here's what I learned. Some families break in ways that can't be fixed. Some trust never fully returns. Some relationships exist best at a distance. And that's okay. I didn't get my Italy trip. Didn't get an apology that felt big enough. Didn't get the family that showed up for me the way I'd always shown up for them. But I got something better. I got myself back. The version that set boundaries and kept them. That didn't apologize for wanting to be treated well. That understood respect was more important than proximity. 6 months later, Emma completed her program. Sent me a graduation certificate. No message. I sent back. Proud of you. We're not close. Maybe we never will be. Mom and I talk every few weeks. Surface level. Dad sends articles he thinks I'd like. It's not the family I wanted. But it's the family I have. At a distance that keeps me safe. My passport sits in my desk drawer now. Ready for the next trip. This time, on my terms. With people who choose to show up. Because I finally learned, the only person guaranteed to be there for you is yourself. And that's enough.